In basketball, a rejection is a highlight, but in life, a rejection is a horror. G'day everyone, Brian here. In the unfolding story of the last days of Jesus, the aspect of rejection stands tall for us. We cannot read these chapters of the Gospels without recognizing the rejection of Jesus. Now, for those of us who are Christian people and who are involved in telling other people about Jesus, that's something we understand all too well. People today still reject Jesus, maybe for different reasons, but nonetheless, they still reject Jesus. I'll go back to the Gospels, and what do we find here? We find Jesus has been betrayed, rejected by one of his own disciples. We find Jesus has been abandoned, rejected by his friends, the rest of the disciples. We find that Jesus has been falsely tried, and so rejected, by the religious leaders, who really should know better. And we have seen that Jesus has been discarded, rejected, by Pilate, the authority in the land. As the story goes on, we see that Jesus is rejected by the crowds in Jerusalem. Pilate brings Jesus to the crowds, almost as though he's asking them to release Jesus, to free him from this burden. But it doesn't go the way that he'd planned. Here's how Matthew records that story. Now it was the governor's custom to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At that time they had a well-known prisoner whose name was Barabbas. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate asked them, "Which one do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" For he knew it was out of envy that they had handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him this message: "Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" asked the governor. "Barabbas," they answered. "What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Crucify him." And when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." All the people answered, "His blood is on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Oh, there's some horrible stuff in that story. But the rejection of Jesus by the crowd stands tall in my mind as truly horrific. Do you know what it feels like to be rejected? I expect many of us know that feeling in primary school when people are choosing teams and we might be one of the last to be chosen, or reluctantly chosen, or not chosen at all. We might want to be in the school play, but we are rejected because we're not good enough. I think most of us know something of what it is to be and to feel rejected, but none of us know what it feels like to this degree. What do you now do with Jesus? Do you act like the crowds, the high priests, the disciples even, and the betrayer? Do you reject Jesus and all that he's done for you? Or do you grab hold of him and say, "Yes, I love you, Jesus. Thank you that you've done all this for me"? Well, of course, I'm going to suggest to you the best thing is to grab hold of Jesus, never to reject him, but to hold on to him. I want to read a verse from a song written by John Blakewell in the mid-1700s. "Hail, thou once rejected Jesus. Hail, our Galilean King. You have suffered to release us, hope and joy and peace to bring. Patient friend and holy Saviour, bearer of our sin and shame. By your merits we find favour. Life is given through your name." Why not hold on to that life instead? Have a great day. to keep your eyes on Jesus. I might see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.